Jinryu, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to get a chance for our spectators to know a little bit about Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
You've been it's one of the foreign fund that has been investing the most here in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, it's from the US,
yes.
And most of the investment originally were in the US. But you've been invested massively now in Japan. It's your second biggest market, if I understand well.
Maybe, yeah. US, Europe, and Japan. Yeah, the three biggest focus.
So can you explain us where do you invest? What are the industries that where you see growth potential?
So we came to Japan in 2009, actually right after the global financial crisis. Everyone was leaving the room. No one was investing, and we raised our first Japan Opportunity Fund, which is Japan dedicated fund, only invests in Japan. That's our first fund in 2009. And subsequently, we raised another 7 funds in Japan over the past 15 years. Have invested, I think, over $1 trillion, well over $1 trillion in Japan, bought lots of assets in Japan. So today's topic was we're talking about building optimism in Japan. But we have been the most optimistic fund in the world, I would say. We came in 2009. We doubled in, right after the tsunami, the earthquake in Tohoku in 2011. We doubled down, we tripled down right after COVID. So we really active in Japan. A couple of areas that we've been focused on. Number one is we're pretty good at distressed opportunity, distressed companies, real estate, that kind of area. And we're a dominant player in the hospitality market. We have bought a hotel operator in 2012, and now we grew that to number 4, the 4th largest hotel platform in Japan. We acquired more than 180 hotels in Japan, and we have a presence in the residential market as well. We built, combining our 2 platforms, we're managing over 600,000 units of apartment in Japan, which is number 4 in the entire Japan market. And we have we're managing the largest hotel REIT with over 500 billion yen market cap in the market. And we bought the largest golf course operator, Accordia, a while ago. We sold it last year, but that was 170 golf courses, a tremendous investment. And now we just bought Sogo Seibu, which is the 5th largest department store operator in Japan, having 10 stores nationwide. So we're pretty dominant or major investors in those a couple of areas which we're pretty good at. Yeah.
People maybe know you more in the press here in Japan for this big deal that you did with when you bought Sogo Seibu, and this big Ikebukuro project.
Yes.
So where do we stand? And do you have plans for the other department store that used to be owned by Sogo Seibu?
Yeah.
We see what you're trying to do in Ikebukuro. Tell us about this one, and then what you would like to do with the other department store.
Yes, great question. So we have been renovating Ikebukuro over the past year. Was a tremendous project. I have never seen such a difficult project. We had to talk to 1,000 tenants, 1,000 existing brands, to relocate them or in the property or ask them to leave the property in a very short period, within 11 months. And we have to come up with a new design, new concept, figure out who will sit where in the property. And it's a quite old property, and it's sitting on one of the busiest stations in the world, with 2.8 million people daily ridership using the station every day. So you need to really be careful. It's a very difficult project. There's lots of, I saw lots of media reports. It's getting late. But to us, it's a miracle. We could really invest tens of billions of yen to renovate it, and now carry on the project to today. That I think by end of November or December, we're going to open majority of the stores, maybe 60%. And next year by April, we're going to open most of the scale, maybe 99% of the store. We already opened the cosmetic store on the 3rd floor, and we already opened the Depachika, which is a food court on the basement, and we'll open gradually going forward. That's a current status. But I would say it's a completely new concept that we brought into the department store industry, we took out the concept of a men's floor and a women's floor. When generally you go to a department store, there are men's floor, the women's floor, and generally the husband get bored or he needs to go separate with his wife. So we don't want to do that. We want the couples, families all can shop together. So our brands in our department store generally have a relatively larger area, very kind of large stores, and with full lineup, selling both men's and women's, a total look offering to better serve our customers. And also, if you go there, you'll notice the cosmetics floor is on the third floor. Generally, in a department store, cosmetics floor is based on the ground floor. But it's because it's a very busy station. Imagine the people wear makeup, look at the mirror, you have a bunch of guys passing through you behind, you do not feel comfortable. We don't want that. We don't want our customer to feel like that way. We want them to be wearing makeups, spend a lot of time and relax in a kind of quiet environment. That's why we put on the third floor. So we have a lot of luxury selections as well as cosmetics and Depachika food selections. But we also put 2 floors to kind of entry level or kind of general merchandising goods on the 7th and 8th floors. And we have 2 VIP salons, and we'll have the event space. In Japanese called the saiji. So you do weekly events, every weekend. So a bunch of stuff, a bunch of selections that we can offer to the customers.
For this project, you've been working hand in hand with Yodobashi.
Yes.
How does it work? Because for both of you, it's a new.
Exactly.
They were coming from a different industry. You too, department store was the first, if I understand well.
Right.
So how do you work with them?
Yeah. So Yodobashi is a very experienced developer. We're a very experienced investor and kind of a developer. But although the two kind of with lots of experience part together is still challenging. It's yes, bugs, and people have different views, but we're kind of married. But you fight with wife, sometimes you argue with them, but we have a single goal, the same goal we share in common, which is we want to really open the property to serve the customers as soon as possible. But it's quite challenging. I mean, the property is 85 years old, sitting on a busy station, and it's poorly managed before, and we don't have any drawings actually. So until we open the ceiling, we don't know what's in there. So we open the ceiling, we see lots of cables, we kind of exploring the darkness and kind of resolving a bomb, like which one can we cut? Where is electricity okay? So we kind of explore it every day, but in a very short period of time. So that's a miracle I'm talking about. And it's lots of collaborations, lots of involving hundreds of people, like working right now day and night in Ikebukuro, trying to really open as soon as possible.
This Ikebukuro store was the jewel of Sogoseibo. When you bought the company, you end up with other department store. Not all of them are making money. So what's the plan for the rest of the portfolio? What's the idea for? Because Fortress, you invest to live. You invest to improve, to make cash, and to make money, and then to live. So
great question. I mean, we have close to 200 to-do lists every day at the company level with all the management. We're going through that every day. So before the company had 10 stores, before they had 26 stores, they closed 16 or about 20 over the past decade. And we were kind of relying on Ikebukuro. The other store are relying on Ikebukuro. Well, we're like, no, let's make every department store independent. They can have a profit. They can reinvest their profit into the store and increase revenue. They can, and let's make that process very feasible. So the changes that we have brought, number one is renovation. It's kind of investment. The company had a $3 billion debt before. Every penny they earn, they need to pay back their debt to their parent. And now it's debt-free company. We have a very healthy balance sheet. So, and we have every penny we earn, we can reinvest in the company. That's why we can do this huge project in Ikebukuro, and we'll carry on other renovation projects, refreshing the concept, the department store to better serve our customers for other key stores as well. That's number one. Number two is company level, we have so many things that we need to do. The company has a long history, as you know. Sogo and Seibu, they merged in early 2000. They went through lots of, kind of bankruptcy, and at once they were the largest retail platform in Japan back in 1990s. They own the largest retail platform in Japan. So they were huge. So that's why it's kind of a bureaucratic everywhere. People have a very rigid kind of team structure and have very rigid kind of way to work, not kind of customer focused or performance driven, but rule focused. That's the rules that we should do this. So it's maybe not an appropriate way to describe it, but a lot of people at the departments are not using their brain to kind of work. That's a mindset we really need to change. If we change that, I should talk about a conference that we should serve as a matching platform or marketing platform, connecting our brands to our customers. That's only our sole responsibility or functionality we're valued at. Otherwise, if we don't do that job, we're going to be retired. The people are going to be shrinking, right? So over the decades, we haven't really been focused on that area, but going forward, we really need to use our brain to come up with a strategy, how to better connecting the customer needs to our brand selections, and through our service and through our great locations. And we should do that better than anyone else in the industry. That's the only way we can survive. So that's the thing step by step we're going through at the company level and as well as the rest of the department store properties.
One last question.
Right.
The weekend, because when you set up your accounts once a year with this weekend, you send back some of the profits to the US. It's an issue for you, and do you see the yen keep on going down that much? Yeah. To what point would you say, okay, I create so much growth here, but in the end, when I send back my accounting, even they look to it in dollars, it's an issue?
That's a great question. No, completely not an issue because we're hedging. Okay. So we're hedging all the risk, including our profit. Yeah. Because we have yen fund, we have a dollar fund. Okay. But that's we have a very great back office, treasury functions who are taking care of those hedging issues. So you look at our fund returns, our dollar fund and the yen fund have similar returns. Okay. Very great returns. It doesn't, the FX doesn't reflect our returns. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great help. Thank you.